These are some examples of tricksters from modern culture. How many of them can you identify? Lots of my students recognize Madeline or Calvin from Calvin and Hobbes, and of course Stewie and Curious George. Some of you may be familiar with the Marx Brothers. They're famous tricksters from American movies in the 1930s. Tricksters are especially popular in children's stories, and it's not that hard to understand, because that main psychological purpose of trickster myths in general is that they acknowledge the necessity and the difficulty of growing up. It makes sense, really, that lots of children's stories are center around tricksters. Madeline is a really great example of this, and she fits so many of the motifs. She's an orphan, or she lives in an orphanage, so she doesn't live in the normal community of children, and yet she's not a god in the traditional sense, but she is immortal in that in every single story of her, she never grows up. And the stories live on and on and on. Madeline is the odd one out. There are 12 little girls in 2 straight lines, and Madeline is the odd number, and so she's always having to be with Miss Clavel. And her tricks are pretty benign and kind of cute, and they introduce the girls to all sorts of new adventures. They accidentally let loose the animals in the zoo. She ends up having appendicitis and has a very cool scar to show for it. Madeline's tricks are fun and gentle and pleasant, and they are a reminder that in the end, all chaos and trickery has to be resolved, even if it starts up again in the next story. Peter Rabbit is another really good example of this kind of trickster. He's always trying to get the carrots in the garden, and he's always losing his mittens. He doesn't really get into too much trouble, but his getting into trouble is a reminder to children that they do need to learn how to be more responsible, and that is difficult. Children have to make a lot of mistakes along the road to adulthood. I think The Fairly Odd Parents is another really good example of that. In this case, though, it's not Timmy, it's the fairy godparents, who are childlike and childish and use their magic impulsively in fun and entertaining and creative ways. And everything gets wrapped up in the end. But it is ultimately about both acknowledging how difficult it is to be less impulsive and to follow the rules, as well as, I think, acknowledging at the same time that there's a lot of fun in that wonderful adventures can happen when you go in different and unexpected directions.